about how the wiring works for the NeoPixels. Um, in the intro video that I create, I used the Arduino Trinket from Adafruit, and which is like a 5 volt as well. So it gives you a 5 volt power if you hold them on a 5 volt pin. You may also use the USB to power this, but eventually this will give you 5 volts maximum. And the good thing of this board is the Trinket is actually really tiny. I think it's only 1/4 of the size of an Arduino, and could pretty much do hooked up like I think maximum 4 analog pin. So this is actually really good tool to use. The wiring for the NeoPixels are really straightforward. All you need to do is share a common power through through all the pixels basically. So one wire should go all the way down, and then it also shares the common ground as well. So one wire that all the way to the end as well. The most complicated part, which I think is still okay to do, it's just has the you have to hook up like analog pin from the board to one pixel and then break it, and then use the second the other wire to hook up the other NeoPixels. So I did 25 in the intro video. That one I used a conductive thread to connect each dot, and it takes actually really long time to do for the stitching and all the connections and like everything, basically about fixings and everything. I think that took me around 20 to 24 hours to get all the stitching works for me. So just make sure that if you consider to make more, you can use this as a reference, because it's actually lots of work. And because like since you need to break it, you need to you can also one useful tips for this was you could use the clear nail polish to actually glue the pen to the board really easily, because the conductive thread kind of will untie itself in the long term. So when you maybe you tied it like a couple knots on the board, and then after a while it will untie itself, so that because the I think conductive thread has steel in there, so that's actually really easy to get like untied itself really easily. So let's talk about the code. So if you work on a Trinket, you first need to select the board, which is make sure you have this one on. You could Adafruit Trinket, this one, 8 megahertz. Don't use the 16, because use the 8 megahertz one. And if you didn't find this, you could use the board. You can use the board manager, and then I believe it's this one, Adafruit AVR boards. It contains that board information there. So install this one, you'll find that one as well. And the one really weird thing that I found using Trinket, it's you would not, even though you plug it in to your laptop, you would not ever find the serial ports for here. Like you would not find anything here. Like even though you hooked up on to this laptop, you cannot find this. And instead of using, normally we use the AVRISP Mark II to check for if you're using an Arduino, but in this case, since you work with Trinket, you need to use this USB Tiny ISP. Make sure you have those two things are selected. Then you're ready to go. You can hit the upload to your board now. So on the left side, it's the one that I found is quite interesting. If you have a NeoPixel ring, it works the same. The ring and the small NeoPixel works the same. So all you need to do is configure the pin that you have on your board, and how many pixels you have on the board on when you connect it, and all you need to do is continue this two thing, and it will work eventually. And basically, what you could do, it's what it does is now it's actually it lights up the pixel one by one, and then you got like a half-second delay along the time when you run it. So you can also comment out this one, and then what it does is becoming you have to change the eye as well. Make sure you change the eye, and then if you put 0 here, then the first pixel will light up, and then if we put the other one, and the third one will light up as well. So this is actually quite straightforward, and then you could just copy paste this one. Let's say I want to create a personal a custom pattern that I have, and then I could do, let's say, this, and then have the pixel dot show, and then everything will work. This is quite straightforward. Or if you just want to showcase the capability of RGB pixels, you can actually use this one, or RGB W stand test. This one actually contains lots of different animation, just like the one I show you on the introduction video. Yes, same thing you could do is you can use configure the pin, how many LEDs you have, and then you can use the brightness as well. And yeah, those are the key things you need to change basically, and the rest are automated. And you may actually use this to configure others as well. So all these two sample codes actually is in here, Adafruit NeoPixels, and then of this there are actually other Bluetooth one. There's a Bluetooth one as well. So basically you try all those out, and then I think that's it. So thank you so much. I hope you find this tutorial is educational and inspirational. Bye.